To me, the next era of 21 Pilots has always been a 50-50 with color scheme. It's either going to be purple or it's going to be black and white. And looking at the 21 Pilots community, a lot of people are in that same boat. It's either purple or black or white. Now, admittedly, there is a third camp down here that's like, oh, orange, but that one is smaller compared to the people that want purple or a black and white era. And you've heard me, Stone Potential, and Dema talk about a purple era because that seems to be what we all want. And that's what we all think. It's going to be a purple era. But recently, 21 Pilots has been fueling the fire on the idea that the next era could be black and white. And a lot of people are talking about it, especially on the Twitter machine. So, for the sake of conversation, let's go ahead and talk about the idea of a black and white era. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're watching this. How's it going, guys? First off, hope you're having a good day today. Hope your days go well and hope it continues to go well. If you want to see my little deep dive into the color purple era, I'll link my next era predictions video down in the description box below, as well as Stone Potential's video about the purple era, because that one is amazing as well. But let's get into the black and white era. Not going to leave this effect on for the whole video, but here we go. So how exactly have 21 Pilots been fueling the speculation fire in the station? Well, I point to their latest videos they've uploaded to the YouTube. It is the MTV Unplugged documentary visualizers, as well as their latest episode of their tour series vlog, which is the first episode in their South America and Mexico shows. All of these videos, a good portion of all of these videos are in black and white. The only exceptions for the MTV Unplugged ones are the still photos taken by Ashley Osborne, which are used for also promo photos for MTV Unplugged. For the tour series, the only portions that are in color are when they're about to go on stage at the very beginning, and then when they arrive in South America at the very end. For 90% of the video, which is the rehearsal, it is completely in black and white. And all of this use within the past month has gotten a lot of people talking, a lot of people pointing fingers to this, saying, this might be the tease. This might be the tease we were waiting for in this down period of the Pilots, because they have to be doing something soon. A lot of people are pointing to this as speculation of these are going to be our next era colors. Even looking back at the Scale and Icy era, 21 Pilots have even teased black and white a lot, mainly in the tour outfits. You haven't forgot about these. What are these? I need this explained, Tyler. What does this mean? Why is your head smoking at the end of No Chances? But anyway, I digress. But black and white was used a lot in their outfits for both the Takeover and the Icy Tour shows. These were the outfits to wear: black pants, a white shirt, and then eventually Josh would go shirtless, as Joshua Dunn always do. And of course, even they would put on the skeleton jacket hoodie thing, which again is in black and white too. It's just very interesting observation. Even looking back at their shows in Mexico and Latin and South America, Tyler wore a white shirt for most of the run. Of course, he wore a gray shirt on one night. He wore this trench yellow greenish shirt on one night, but mainly it was a black pants and a white shirt. Super interesting. And also, going back to MTV Unplugged, these are their outfits for that. Once again, black and white. I find it very interesting that for a lot of these shows that there was just no color. I mean, Josh wore whatever he wanted for the festival shows, as a Joshua Dunn often do, and so do Tyler in the European shows last year. But I find it interesting that a lot of their exclusive performances, not at festivals, they're wearing black and white. Even for MTV Unplugged, they could have wore whatever they want for MTV Unplugged, but no, they opted for black and white. Just an interesting observation there. And also something that's interesting is the outside music video. Now, this one doesn't immediately spring to mind when you think of black and whites, but it does have what I call the Harry Potter effect in terms of music videos. Basically, if you've never seen a Harry Potter movie, this isn't a spoiler whatsoever. It's just a film observation of how it's edited. Basically, when you start watching Harry Potter, like from Sorcerer's Stone, it is very colorful. Saturation's at max. By the time you get to the very last movie, the saturation bar has been pulled down a lot. Like, it's like, just look at a still frame from Sorcerer's Stone as well as a still frame from the very last movie, and it's just night and day. It's just a night and day difference. And if you compare Saturday to the outside, then oh boy, yeah, you can definitely see that saturation just completely go down in there. And so it's weird because like the very beginning of Saturday before they go into the cave takes place during the sunlight. You can look at the grass and like you can still tell that the saturation knob has been turned down quite significantly in the video shoot, which would fit the idea of the very beginning of Good Day saying, "I can feel my saturation leaving me slowly," which, yes, I know we desaturated going into the Scale Nazi era, but who's to say that it couldn't happen from the start of Scale Nazi to the end of the Scale Nazi cycle? That saturation knob could quickly lower as the Dema starts losing their grip on Tyler and Josh, or Clancy in this case, and the Torchbearer. Still confused by that. So now that we talked about that, let's take a look at what black and white represents. Starting off with white. Now, there's a long paragraph in there, pause it to read it yourself, but I do want to highlight some things in there. It loves to make others feel good and provides hope and clarity by refreshing and purifying the minds. It also promotes open-mindedness and self-reflection. Sounds a lot like 21 Pilots music to me. Symbolizes innocence, perfection, affects, refreshes, balances, purifies, simplifies, positives, goodness, hope, clarity, open-mindedness, negative, boring, cold, empty, and distant. Let's go ahead and look at the opposite end of the spectrum and take a look at black here. Once again, big paragraph in here. Black is an incredibly strong and intimidating color that exudes authority. It makes others feel secure and protected, which is often what 21 Pilots does with their fan base, making sure that they are looked after. And then that's what the fan base does, is they look after each other. Symbolizes protection, power, intelligence, intelligence, I don't have any of that, intelligence, and it's elegance. I don't have any of that. Anyway, sophistication affects, mystifies, seduces, secures, intimidates, pauses, formality, strength, prestige, authority, negatives, depression, sadness, pessimism, and dominance. That last part was, once again, describes 21 Pilots music. And oftentimes in life, there are times when we have more of this in our lives compared to the lighter side of the spectrum. There are times when the light will overcome the darkness. There's the times where darkness will just be overcoming the light. But for life, you have to have a balance between both black and white. Oh, great! No, a yin and a yang, because that's right, we're going to look at this from a Feng Shui perspective. And what's interesting about Feng Shui is that Feng Shui aims to achieve a balance of the opposing characteristics in the world around you, which are known as yin and yang. According to yin and yang theory, everything in the universe consists of two opposing but interconnected forces. Yin, which is feminine, yang, which is masculine. And a lot of people have been talking about a compromise ending for the end of the Dema storyline, where it's not the bishops winning, it's not the banditos winning, because banditos winning is very unrealistic with how life works. Bishops winning, unfortunately, this does happen, and it sucks. Make sure you go check up on your friends, make sure you tell everyone you love them, make sure everyone you know is looked after. I'm proud of you all. Stay around. Back to the video, but the compromise ending is learning how to live with mental health. And yin and yang, you have to have a good balance of both in you. So possibly the 21 Pilots for next era, if they do go in a black and white direction, can use a form of the yin yang symbol as a form of their next era, which I think is super interesting, and I think it would be really cool as well. And I think it's also interesting that if we look at a whole Bagua map for Feng Shui, you have the north, which is at the very bottom, which is black. Element is water. Last time we see 21 Pilots, they're on the island of Volk, so I surrounded by the water, and that's where they emerged from the Saturday music video. And it also represents the career/life path, which ultimately is what we're all going on. And 21 Pilots music helps people through life. It's also north, which I think is interesting because we've talked about east, we talked about south, because of course in In The Judge, we talk about going south, and Nico and the Niners, we talk about going east. I don't recall if there's any 21 Pilot lyric talking about north, but I think it's interesting. And for west, that is white on the bottom of the map, which it represents metal. I don't know how this one fits in, except maybe it's talking about the genre that we're going to be in the next album. And it also represents creativity and children. Creativity is a huge part of Tyler's life, and children, Tyler now has 2 of those, so that could play an entire spectrum of how he is writing all of this music. No, we're not dragging the kids in the Dema storyline. Stop it. That's freaky and gross. But I digress once again. The interesting thing about the Fogwall map too is if you look at black and white, where they stand on the map, you get winter and fall. If they go in a black and white era direction, this is going to be when they release the album, because it will fit perfectly within the Feng Shui thing of black and white goes into winter and fall, so we'll have a release maybe in November, which is like a good middle ground between fall and winter. One more dumb observation for the black and white, and honestly this one is the tiniest thing of the bunch, and weirdly enough it involves the Clancy journals, the Dema.org website, yet it's somehow one of the smallest details. And that is the fact that I think everything on the website is in black and white. Everything on there is in black and white. So it makes sense for the final thing, let's just continue the black and white pattern that we've been using, make everything black and white. Again, small detail, probably nothing, and for being a Clancy thing and a Dema.org thing, it's the tiniest thing in this theory. Something else I am going to throw in here is the band's Instagram page. A lot of times for the Icy tour, they were posting these photos from every concert, and they would have their cool little blue filter on them. But every once in a while, there would be a black and white photo, which, I mean, it's photography, and black and white photos look cool. I know my girlfriend who does photography, she'll put photos in black and white for the sole reason of it just looks cool. However, we're 21 Pilot fans, we're gonna speculate over it, so of course, black and white era confirmed. So now that we talked about all of this, let's talk about the main argument to why we're even talking about it, which is the YouTube videos. And something I noticed when people were speculating this online on Monday is that 21 Pilots actually have used black and white quite a bit in their past, specifically a lot for the behind the scenes music videos like Jumpsuit, Levitate, Nico and Niners, Saturday, Shy Away. They've used it quite a bit, as well as you can find several other instances being used on the channel or being teased, such as the Cancer music video. You have the TOPX Mute Math thumbnails teasing black and white as well, the Neon Gravestones audio visualizer being of course the center of Dema, and it just has black and white in it as well. So there's a lot of that. So why are we even talking about it now? Because they're using it a lot recently. All this was in the past month, and it's like, give us some color, give us some saturation in this, guys. Maybe 21 Pilots will actually unsaturate the videos, and that will be how we get out of the desaturation era. But that's just a part of the brain that is once purple, but like I said at the very beginning, I'm 50-50 on black and white or purple. Something I just thought of as I was about ready to record this outro is the fact that when we looked at this graph that talked about what white represents, we get a word in the negative that represents empty and distant. We've been talking a lot about empty vessels since the Outside music video, and the people who do the whole empty vessel ritual with Ned's horns, they've been a little bit of a distant bit away, like back in Dema distant or on the island of Volksoy distant. So these two words fit the Dema storyline, especially empty, because we get all these empty vessels. Dan Sally at the live stream experience, Trash the Dragon, Keons, all of them are empty vessels. So it's very interesting that empty comes up when you look at what white represents. But other than that, that's the idea behind a black and white era. Am I for it? Absolutely. Do I want a purple era? Of course. I think both of them would absolutely be awesome, and I'm totally for both in this video. And once again, it's mainly to fuel the fire and to talk about from a different worldview, because I love talking about different worldviews of the Dema storyline on the channel. I like spotlighting theories and all this stuff. So if the Orange Camp want me to make a video on what like a deep dive into an Orange era of 21 Pilots, by all means, I absolutely could do that. I talked about what Orange represents a little bit on the channel before, at least what I think it represents, but I would love to do a more deep dive into it. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video today. Let me know, do you want a black and white era down in the comment section below? Are you a purple, or are you part of the Orange Brigade? I need to come up with alliterations for all of those. And of course, if you disagree or agree, let me know down in the comment section below. Or if you want to fuel the fire even more, comments. Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow with Justin Listens To, on Friday with my reactions to the new Lovejoy EP, and I'll see you all then. Goodbye, and good night. More importantly, have a good day, and I'll see you later.